Hey everyone, happy full moon. It is Tuesday, September 17th, and this evening the full moon is going to rise, and about 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, a partial lunar eclipse is going to begin. This is a full moon in Pisces, and we are about 5 months since our last lunar and solar eclipse cycle. So if you recall that really sensational solar eclipse that came through North America last April, and there was a partial lunar eclipse that happened in late March just before that. This is sort of a complement to that, and any themes that we experienced during the spring in March and April of change or transition, we're going to be feeling some of those things this week and next week as we experience this lunar eclipse. The full moon tonight is in the sign of Pisces. It's a water sign. It's a sign known for really stirring up our emotional experiences and bringing them to the surface. So if you're feeling a little bit extra tender today, feeling a little bit more withdrawn and kind of sitting with your emotions, let yourself find tools and ways that you can connect with those emotions. Pisces is also a water sign that is really connected to our subconscious. So I keep a journal next to my bed during a Pisces moon so I can really pay attention to any dreams that I might experience and any messages that my subconscious might have to share with me through my dream life. I also like to spend some time just in quiet solitude on the days before and after a Pisces full moon, just allowing those inner thoughts, that innate voice, that inner dialogue to be heard a little more clearly when I'm in solitude and in silence. So I'll be spending some of that practice tonight. We can in North America. Most of North America can see all of the eclipse. On the West Coast, you'll just see kind of the penumbral part of the eclipse, a little bit smaller partial eclipse. But on the East Coast, between about 8:40 and midnight 40 is the full length of the eclipse. And the maximum eclipse is going to occur kind of around 10:30. So if you are staying up late tonight, or if that bright full moon is calling through your window, step outside, lean back, grab a cup of hot tea or hot cocoa, and blanket to stay bundled up, and take a look at that eclipse. This is also a supermoon. So that's sort of a fad term, but essentially means that the moon is at perigee, which is the closest that the moon comes to the Earth. The orbit of the moon around the Earth is not perfectly circle. It's a little bit oblong, so there are times that the moon is at the ends of that oblong and farther away from the Earth, and there's times that it's a little bit closer. So it's about 362 kilometers away from the Earth right now, which is its perigee, or the closest that it comes to the Earth. So that's what we call a supermoon, a full moon that is at the closest point to the Earth. And actually, we have a series of 4 moons this fall where that perigee effect is going to be. So we're going to see these sort of supermoon titles and headlines in the media for the next couple of months. But tonight is a supermoon and a partial lunar eclipse. So the moon is really close to the Earth, and so we're going to see it shining really big and bright as it rises tonight. And then again, it's about 8:40 on the East Coast is when that partial lunar eclipse is going to begin. There's also a really unique astronomical event taking place in the morning. The moon is going to occult the planet Saturn. And occultation basically means that the two celestial bodies are going to be lining up, and kind of the moon is going to be passing in front of Saturn. You won't be able to see it too well unless you have some binoculars and you wake up really early in the morning, but it is a pretty cool phenomenon and very auspicious and unique timing that it's happening in alignment the same evening that we have a full moon partial lunar eclipse that's also a supermoon. Another fun fact about tonight's moon is that it is the harvest moon. So we call a full moon the harvest moon when it is closest to autumn equinox, which we will be celebrating in the Northern Hemisphere this weekend, September 21st. So the full moon closest to autumn equinox is known as the harvest moon. So tonight's full moon is the closest to autumn equinox, so that's why it is known as the harvest moon. We also Looking ahead in 2 weeks on the new moon on October 2nd, we're going to experience a solar eclipse, not like the fantastic one that we saw in April, not one that's going to be visible in North America. It's an annular eclipse also, not a total eclipse. So you're just going to see it cover part of the sun in parts of the world far away from North America. So we won't get to see it, but we will still feel the effects. All cultures across the globe really attributed eclipses to transformation, to transmutation, to change. So I find during eclipse periods, if I'm observant and paying attention, seeds of change are planted in my life. Sometimes those seeds sprout right away and big and bold, and I experience a really significant change within the week of an eclipse. Other times I notice that those changes come more slowly, but really are initiated with an eclipse. So be mindful and observant of what's happening in your life with this week, and if there are any changes initiated or inspired or sparked at this eclipse time. If you check out the link below, I would love to share more with you about the folklore of the harvest moon, about what actually an eclipse is and the alignment of the earth and the sun and the moon, and a little bit more about Pisces and what to expect emotionally this week. Please feel free to download my lunar eclipse workbook below and learn more about it. I love to share these things that have been meaningful in my life, and I look forward to hearing how they're meaningful for you. In the meantime, happy full moon, lunar eclipse, supermoon, harvest moon tonight, and blessings on the transition of our seasons from summer into fall this weekend.